Hey guys, what's up? It's Tyler Kluver. This is the Snapped podcast. So glad that you're joining me. On this podcast, we're going to talk about diet, exercise, mindset, training, sports, performance, and any of the things that we discuss, me or the guests that I bring on, is going to help you get better and help you get healthier in some way or another. We're glad you're here. Sit back, relax. Let's have a day. We're back. Thursday. Quick one today. More informational than opinionated or personal. In today's episode, wanted to go over something that, honestly, this is something that I've been thinking about more often right now because of some personal anecdotal data. But the idea behind it, the science behind it is actually really interesting. And you can do with this what you may, but I think it's something that not a lot of people have probably ever looked at objectively and actually broken down in this way. And we're going to be talking about how do you burn calories each day? We've talked about, sorry, I'm just drilling the mic. We've talked about calorie balance. We did a whole episode on that. And, honestly, I probably should have just included that into that episode, but this concept and kind of the breakdown of where the calories you're burning come from, because it's not just like there's multiple facets to this, right? Four in general, four main ones. And we're going to talk about those four. And hopefully the idea behind each of these four processes of burning calories and actually how many calories they account for in your overall caloric burn for the day, it at least makes you think about what you're doing and how you approach your daily routine and your daily life. So we're going to be talking about total daily energy expenditure, TDEE, total daily energy expenditure. That is every calorie that you burn. We're going to look at all of that and what's broken down. Okay. The four categories that are going to go into that TDEE are your basal metabolic rate. We're going to go through each of one of these individually quickly as well. Your basal metabolic rate, your BMR, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT, N-E-A-T. Oh, gosh. And there's a yawn. Every time I turn on a podcast, I yawn. So your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, NEAT, the thermic effect of activity, or TEA, and the thermic effect of food, TEF. Okay, those are your four. In short, your you could basically call your BMR your natural, like your burn rate, like just what your body burns. Your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, the NEAT, is kind of like all the activity you do throughout the day that isn't exercise specific. Then you have the thermic effect of activity, which is your exercise specific stuff. You go and you work out and you track your run or your workout at the gym, and you burn 237 active calories. That's your thermic effect of activity. And then the last one is thermic effect of food, which is you burn calories as you consume calories. So, to eat lunch, to eat a big old steak, or to eat, any portion of food, the digestive system uses energy to then process, digest, break down that food and send it to the rest of your body. So those are in order as far as the percentage of calories that they burn in that total, right? So your BMR is going to be your highest of those four. Your BMR is also commonly referred to as your RMR, which is your resting metabolic rate. The RMR is actually the total calories that you burn without at rest, right? And that includes the other four things in here. But BMR is specifically um, the buzzword metabolism. What is your metabolism, right? This is what most people are referring to. And your BMR is going to account for 60 to 70%. It's not an exact number, but 60 to 70%, or the bulk, basically, two-thirds of the calories that you burn during the day. And as we go over these percentages, obviously, then you kind of get an idea of, okay, where can I most be effective at changing this? And what should I put my most energy into? Right. So with BMR, um, how do we change that? How do you affect that? Right. Like I can't work out. That's the thermic effective activity. And I can't just eat more food or eat less food to change how many calories I'm burning by digesting stuff. And my daily activity, like, so how do I do this? Right. Your BMR is affected by your weight, your height, your age, and most importantly, your body composition. And this is the one that I really have been focusing on lately. Um, the more muscle mass that you have, the more you weigh, the higher your calorie needs are. Meaning your body is burning more if you weigh more, and more specifically, if you have more muscle mass. Vice versa, if you weigh less and you have less muscle, your body it needs less calories. The reason for that is because um, muscle is more metabolic than fat. So the more muscle you have, it's going to help you naturally burn more calories during exercise and when you're not exercising. A pound of muscle burns 4.5 to 7 calories a day, whereas a pound of fat might only burn a couple, 2 or 3 calories per day. So the idea there is you put on muscle mass. The reason for that logically is the muscle is what's moving your body, right? Your bones and the way you're biomechanically put together to move your frame through space, to sit up during the day in the chair like I am right now and hold posture just to be alive and move as a human. Your muscles are what's doing all that work. And so that the more tissue you have in muscle, the more you're going to have a higher, what some would call metabolism, right? So if you want to boost your metabolism, you actually want to gain muscle, which might mean gaining weight. Um, and that's the best way to affect that is body composition. You want really as little body fat as possible, without being unhealthy. And it's very hard to get to an unhealthy um, position. So up your muscle if you want to up your BMR. That's 60 to 70% of the calories you burn on a daily basis. The next one is NEAT, and that is your non-exercise uh, activity thermogenesis. So that means, I'm sitting here at the desk. I'm holding posture. I walk down the stairs to go grab lunch. I walk back up the stairs. I go down and I get in the car and I run an errand and I'm walking around and I'm just being alive. Everything else, all the activity that you do, walking, sitting, laying down, rolling over, stretching, whatever you do that isn't directly activity, that's going to be 20 to 30% of, more like 20 to 25% of the calories that you burn during the day. And this is the one that I've actually been focusing on more recently because I've noticed that it's on a very, very minute level. I am just slightly less lean right now than I was when I had an active job. When I was coaching in a gym, 4 to 6 hour shifts each day, I was on my feet. I rarely sat down and I was up moving for 4 to 6 hours to 8 hours at a time, walking around the gym, coaching people, demonstrating movements, cleaning, all the stuff that you do in a gym setting. And I haven't changed much. My diet, my training is about the same. And I realize that I'm just a little bit heavier, a little bit less lean right now than I was then because now my job is I actually sit at home in my home office and I I work from home, right? So I have less non-exercise activity. And that actually plays a role because over the course of 12, 14, 16 hours that you'll be awake each day, 18 hours. That's a lot of that. That's most of your movement, most of your activity. So, um, and that's 1/5 of the calories you're burning each day. Think about how many more calories you could eat or not eat, depending on, most people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, they're going to have a somewhere around 2,000, 2,500, maybe 3,000 calories that they can eat. 1/5 of that is for 600 calories, right? That's a significant amount. So that could definitely affect how you're eating, how much you're eating, um, and it's why I try to every half hour, basically my applicable strategy to attack the non-exercise activity thermogenesis is every half hour I'm standing up, I'm doing push-ups, I'm taking a trip down and up the stairs, every 30 minutes. And that's just one way that I am more active throughout the day. That way I'm not just sitting at my desk for 8 hours, right? The next one we have is the thermic effect of activity, which is your workout for the day. Some days you might not even get this. It might be all based on the NEAT, the non-exercise activity thermogenesis. But the TEA is the thermic effect of activity, which is, hey, today I'm going to go out for a 3-mile run, and during those 3 miles, you may burn anywhere from probably 200 to 400 calories um, for the average person. And this is one that most people focus on. People get caught up, and it's really only 10% maybe um, of your daily calorie burn for people who are 10 to 20%. For people who really are into working out and they do a lot of exercise, they're working out 60 minutes plus a day. It's going to be on the higher end. You may be towards that 15 or 20% of the total daily energy expenditure, but this is the in physical form why you can't out train a bad diet because your activity, your actual directed exercise only makes up at max 20% of the calories you're burning throughout a day, and maybe 25%, right? And that's why when you do the math and you're like, "Man, I feel good. I ran 30 minutes," or like maybe you even ran for an hour and you burn like 600 calories, right? And then you go and you eat a Snickers bar and it was 300 calories and you're like, "Are you kidding me?" Like that hour run I just did was what can be completely wiped out by eating 2 of these Snickers bars. Like that is and that's how people think of it. And the problem is yes, that's technically true. Those 600 active calories are being added to all of these other factors to enter your whole calorie burn for the day. I think some people who are really uninformed think that they're only their active calories are the stuff that's fighting back against the food that you're eating. Um, so, your workouts during the day aren't as important to the overall calorie burn as they are what those workouts are specifically meant to do: get you stronger, build muscle, um, make your conditioning better, right? You shouldn't be working out to burn calories. And then our final one is thermic effective food. And this is 5 to 10%, the lowest amount of calorie burn per process. And there's not much you can do for this one. A lot of people in the bodybuilding space for a while were caught up on, well, you burn calories by eating. So if I'm eating every 2 to 3 hours, and there's some other reasons why you eat every 2 to 3 hours, but if I'm eating like 6 small meals a day, then I can like prolong my calorie burn and um, actually increase the percentage of calories that I burn total by just eating the food that I'm going to consume during the day. And it's not really a good way to attack um, burning more calories or upping your metabolism. First of all, it's annoying to eat that many times a day, and it might swing a percentage point or two, you know. So the thermic effect of food is going to be like 5 or 10%. But those are your four, right? Basically, the what I like to call your rate of burn, like how how strong your engine is, your just general engine, and then there's 3 that go on top of that, how much activity you're doing throughout the day, which has some and all of those, well, the non-exercise activity thermogenesis, the NEAT, the NEAT, and the TEA, thermic effect. So your activity and your non-activity, those are going to slightly affect that BMR as well. Like the more active you are throughout the day and the more days that you work out and the longer you work out, those are going to affect your BMR and put more muscle on you. And so they all tie together. But those 4 are how you break down your energy balance, and, I think it's good to go over that. Try and be more active throughout the day, try and put on more muscle. Those are gonna be things that up your calorie burn, allow you to eat more, and allow you to look better. So, hopefully you figured, you learned something, 1 or 2 things. That's total daily energy expenditure, in a nutshell. Have a great day.